So, one of the toughest things to figure out with Armored Warfare is how to toe that line between realism and fun gameplay. We recognize that it's very important to create that immersive, convincing atmosphere that players are looking for in the tank combat genre. But at the same time, we also recognize it's very important that everyone that comes to participate in the game has a great time playing it as well. So, throughout the entire development of the project, we're constantly debating features and gameplay elements, evaluating them from, does that seem realistic? Is that plausible? Is that pseudo-realistic? Or do we just need to ignore that because it's just going to be more fun if we make this change and we think players will benefit from it? So I would say that it's a challenge to try and get that right because there's no magic answer to that. There's always a fuzzy line on what is going to be the most fun for players and what is going to be the most immersive and realistic. I think we've really hit the mark with our current iteration of Armored Warfare, however, and we really look forward to player feedback on it. One of the great things about Armored Warfare is because it is an online game, we have the opportunity to interact with a growing community surrounding this game. It's been the most satisfying thing for me to see people playing Armored Warfare, talking with them, getting their ideas, finding out what they enjoyed, what are they not enjoying, what would they like to see more of. Those sort of things really gives me a lot of satisfaction and excitement as a game developer. It's a little bit different than a lot of our traditional RPG titles where we wrap up the game and we put it on a shelf and we sell it. The fact that we can continue to develop and iterate on Armored Warfare in responding to a growing, excited community is just a fantastic opportunity that I'm really glad to have. As far as the aspect that I've liked the least about developing Armored Warfare, as I would say, it's have to be the common pain to all game developers, and that's constantly having to realize that we can't get everything into the game at the same time that we would like to. Budgets, time schedules, milestone goals, all those get in the way of game developers being able to do everything they want right when they think of it. A lot of times we think of a really cool idea, but then recognize that it's going to take a long time to get in the game, and then we have to be patient when we can finally see the payoff. It is something that everyone has to deal with in the game industry, and Armored Warfare is no different in that regard, and we've all learned to accept that and work with it, but sure, ideally it would be nice if we could get even more in faster. Certainly on the side of crazy, I do remember early on in the development for Armored Warfare, we were strongly considering and discussing the idea of figuring out how we could get it so that tanks could be dropped into the maps from airplanes, especially the lighter vehicles, light tanks and things like that. We thought it'd be really cool. Imagine starting off a match, you look up in the sky, C5 flies over, drops your vehicle down on the field. It seemed really cool at the time. It was pretty crazy though, and we knew it was crazy even while we were talking about it. Can't say that one's ever going to particularly make it into the game, but you never know. Ideas that have been kind of put on the back burner, but they're still definitely going to come up. Players are starting to get a look at the initial base feature as it currently exists. What you see in the game right now for the base is really just the starting point for that feature. It's definitely going to continue to grow and evolve. One of the important things that will come along eventually is the ability to do a lot of customization with different features of the base based upon your own achievements. So you'll be able to put trophies, statues, banners, and other custom touches on the base to reflect what you've accomplished as a player. So that's still going to come along. We wanted to get it in sooner with the base development, but we've had to push it off just because of schedule concerns. It is one of those things where being an experienced game developer, you develop a pretty thick skin, especially if you deal into all online games. One of the things about online games, the communities they form, is that the players that join those communities are very passionate about what they're playing. So for me, when I see players get upset about a change, I have to evaluate and understand that that's really coming because they care about the game and they care about the direction it's going. That means they're enjoying it, or there's some aspect of it that they're concerned that they may not enjoy so much because of the change. So we have to be really careful about evaluating that feedback and understanding where it's coming from. Sometimes it's because players don't quite have the full picture on why a change might be coming, and that's something that we can do better as developers to communicate to try and offset that potential upset. As far as how you deal with players that go beyond constructive criticism, again, it really does come down to players being invested in the game on some level. If players were apathetic or didn't care, then they wouldn't get upset either way with what you do with it. The fact that they actually do respond to the changes one way or another means that they are paying attention and that they do care about what the developers are doing with the game. And again, I feel that's something that we can really help with in terms of communicating the reason behind the changes and engaging in good feedback exchanges with the players so they understand why those changes are happening and why we as developers feel that they're better for the game. really a great website. It's actually humbling to see the effort that players put into making community websites like this, and Armored Talk is a fantastic example of that effort. We really enjoy looking at Armored Talk and seeing at the information that Spooky is able to find around the web, videos about the game, news coming out about the game, and how he's able to add his spin and commentary on it. Really, we just encourage to continue to forward on the path that you're on and look forward to seeing where the website continues to evolve.